Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Frank Granito in studio alongside Kevin Coleman on Wednesday, February 21st. Getting ready for tonight's girls ice hockey semifinals in this year's FCX tournament. And of course, Kev, we've got a lot of girls coverage from last night to get ready for as well. And a huge day in the boys basketball and hockey fields as the final spots in this year's tournaments will be set.
Those last three spots in boys basketball, a lot of people are going to keep an eye on a lot of these basketball games going on tonight. You got Trumbull, Danbury going on. That's going to be a game people are keeping their eyes on. How about Wilton, Ludlow? That's got to be one of the biggest games people are going to keep their eyes on. So it's going to be an interesting night. What can Central do? How can they finish the year off? Are they going to get in? It's going to be a fun finish in boys basketball. Just as much fun we had last night at Fairfield Ludlow. That first game between Wilton and Ward down to the wire. You got to feel for the Mustangs again, going to the FCX semifinals and finding themselves just a point or two short. Last year losing by 2 to Trumbull in triple overtime, and last night falling to Wilton by 1. Great job by Wilton. How about Claire Golbin? Just taking initiative there. 18 seconds left, driving to the rack, gets the bucket to go, the go-ahead point, and that was the difference. And congratulations to the Wilton Warriors. A big win for them, big win for the program and Coach Colony. And of course, game 2, what was a first half, all of Trumbull. Second half, I thought Stanford played a lot better. Got it to within 3, and it ended up being a really close and exciting finish to both games. So you got to give credit to all 4 teams who were playing hard last night, but congratulations again to Wilton and Trumbull on advancing Thursday night.
Well, let's break down that Trumbull-Stanford game, and you're right. Stanford obviously starting to piece it together late in this game, but it was too late. Trumbull led 17-3 after the first quarter, and quite frankly, at that point in time, I didn't even think Stanford was keeping this game within 20 points. You were going to see Trumbull just run away with it and cruise to their second consecutive FCX championship game. It was a balanced attack. Keckler played extremely well. McGuire chipped in defensively. The freshman Allie Palmieri and Cassie Barbado, both with big games. Brady Ann Lynch was a force to be reckoned with. They came at him from so many different angles, and in the end, just too much for the Black Knights to handle after some of their key players get into foul trouble early on.
I think it was that first quarter that really made the difference, because you look at quarters 2, 3, and 4. Actually, Stanford won those quarters. They won 9-6 in the second, 14-13 in the third quarter, and 18-15 in the fourth quarter, still just falling short against Trumbull. You got to give credit to Julie Keckler, Ashley McGuire, the 2 captains stepping up big. Brady Lynch having some big buckets in the fourth quarter. The freshman stepping up big. I thought Barbado played some great minutes. Palmieri hitting some big 3-pointers. So it's an all-around well-balanced roster, but again, that 17-3 lead to kind of jump out quickly, that's what Trumbull's been able to do all season long. They start off games quick. They're in your face on defense. But I got to give credit to Diane Burns for kind of, hitting the reset button at halftime, making some adjustments and getting things going. Brooke Kelly finally found herself with 18 points in that game. A strong second half from her. But again, Trumbull, just their overall offense to defense, their transition game, just so strong. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up against the Warriors on Thursday night.
Let's take a look now at the highlights from Trumbull's 51-44 victory over Stanford in the semifinals.
Lynch with it, down to O'Leary. Outside, Keckler going to spot up a 3. It's good, and I beg your pardon. That was Julie Keckler. Big shot from the senior co-captain.
Good defense here from Nelson.
Keckler, oh, what a look. Palmieri and the foul.
What a play by Keckler. Good feed over to Schuler. Draws the foul, gets the bucket. Nice play.
Still sitting with just 3 points. Nelson, back for Lansadell. Lesko's got it.
Oh, great pass.
McGuire and O'Connor, the big block.
That's a big one for O'Connor there. Nice play defensively.
Lansadell, that's a deep 2, and it's good.
Oh, what a nice shot by the sophomore.
Lansadell forced to go back up top. Now Kelly with it.
Great separation.
Buckled Lesko and then knocks down the triple in her face. Back door, Schuler open, gets the basket, and the foul.
Wow, little Princeton offense there. Coach Tobish, good call on that play.
Stanford would like to get it down to 10, if not single digits before the period ends. That'll certainly help.
That's a big-time three-pointer for Brooke Kelly.
Oh, the lights in the gym popping on and off here. Nelson pulling up off the glass.
Nice shot by Nelson. This atmosphere is just as good.
Kelly thinking about a deep triple, knocks it down.
There you go. That's what you need if you're Stanford. Get her going. Good look for Kelly in baseline.
Keckler hit the deck. Kelly the steal. Up to the rack. Gets the lane to go.
Clutch play.
Now it's Barbado. Has it taken away by Nelson. She goes up and finishes. Coach Tobish taking a timeout. And just like that, it's a 5-point game. Barbado went all the way around the court. Open in the corner, couldn't convert though.
Ansell's gonna push it here. Kelly's open.
She wants a triple. Got it!
Big three-pointer. Good defensive play there.
Keckler breaks through, hit the deck, pass to Barbado on the money, off the glass, count the triple. There's Keckler with it. Navigating through traffic, up for McGuire. No more fouls to come, and the Eagles are flying back to the FCX championship.
So again, as you pointed out, Kev, a late push coming from the Black Knights. I thought Brooke Kelly did a good job of finding her flow once she got back into the game. Our director, Mike Suppy, and I were talking about this. Andrea O'Connor was probably the best player on the floor all night for Stanford, and without her, I think this game got out of hand early on because at one point in time she was the only Black Knight who could figure out a way to score.
Certainly, and not just score, but she also got, how about the rebound she was grabbing too? She was great on the glass, big size down low, great height advantage for Stanford, using that as well. Good matchup between her and Brady Lynch down low. You know, great job for Andrea O'Connor. I know it's tough to exit out again in semifinals for Stanford, but again, a great season, and to get in as the 5th seed, and with losing Alexa Kellner, I think if you have Alexa Kellner on the floor, that's a much different game last night. But losing her and be able to still rebound as a unit and come together and get that 5th seed and get into the tournament, you got to give Coach Diane Burns and this rest of this Black Knights team a lot of credit for reaching the semifinal game, beating a tough Norwalk opponent and getting here and actually giving Trumbull a run for their money here in the second half especially. The Black Knights certainly played well, and they're not going anywhere. This is a team that's, they're going to be back next year, I should say, because they still have a lot of young talent. I know they're going to lose a good core of seniors, but still you bring Lancetal back. You bring a lot of players who are coming off the bench for the Black Knights this season. They're going to be back in the FCIAC postseason again next year, guarantee it.
But here's the problem, and this is going to be the issue for a lot of teams who are bringing back a good group, a good chunk of young talent. So is this Trumbull Eagles team.
Yeah.
And a lot of those young players are contributing now at the highest level, you know, in the highest competition games. Well,
I think last night we talked about how it just seems like every year, you know, in girls basketball, Trumbull and Stanford always seem to find each other, to play each other in the FCIAC postseason. I think, again, you're going to see it again next year and for years to come because both teams have a lot of great young talent coming up through the program, so you definitely expect to see Stanford in it. You obviously will expect to see Trumbull in it next year. Coach Tobish has a lot of great young talent in that team as well. You saw it on display all season long. Obviously, Barbado and Palmieri are going to be two sophomores who are going to be heavily talked about going into next season. But that's next season. I think we want to stick with 2018 here. And for this roster going forward, I think tomorrow night against Wilton, this is going to be an interesting matchup for Coach Colony and how he's going to draw up, you know, how he's going to handle this team because they are similar in ways. But man, Trumbull I want to see how Wilton comes out because last night I thought both them and Ward, I think Wilton played into that slow Danko game that I think Coach Colony, he told me at halftime, said he was afraid that Wilton was going to get into. Too slow. When you're coming up against Trumbull, you have to have a fast start. So the Warriors have to start off fast tomorrow night if they want to have a chance to bring home that FCIAC title.
And that Danko system may have been what spelled the end to Fairfield Ward's FCX season. We'll dive into that more when we get back on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. SCAP Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Call, click, or stop in today. Save thousands right now at the President's Day event and Ram Truck Month. Ends February 28th.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
Back on Nutmeg Sports, Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman, Trumbull. We knew they were into the FCX championship by 9 o'clock last night. They knew who they were going to be facing heading into the game as they caught the end of a great one between Wilton and Fairfield Ward. The Warriors outlasting Ward 43-42. Let's just dive right to the end of this game. We'll get into the fourth quarter. Ward has got the ball. About 1:30 to go, and it's very apparent they're going to sit on it. It's what you're allowed to do in Connecticut high school basketball. There's no shot clock. Wilton had only 3 fouls to this point in the game, so they've got to go on a rampage of fouls. After they commit the 6th one, a timeout taken by Ward. They're going to be in the bonus. All they have to do is inbound the ball. Steal. Golban gets the steal. Back to the other end. 40 seconds to go. Ward now only with 3 fouls. They elect not to use any of them. Wilton goes on. Golban lay-in with about 25 seconds to go. It was everything that is wrong with the non-shot clock era of basketball on display, but it almost looked like Ward was shell-shocked with the way the events transpired.
It's disappointing, and you're right. I think, obviously, I think it's a huge debate whether there should be a shot clock, should there not be, and while there isn't, you have to utilize the fact that there isn't a shot clock. So Coach Danko used the fact that he let Ava Fitzpatrick kind of sit up top, kind of swing the ball around off Fierro, Krasniqi finally, and just that turnover, the inbounds play. And I mentioned in the broadcast, that's a tough angle to inbound the ball in. Great job by Claire Golban to take that one away. And actually, before she was able to drive to the hoop, Ward almost actually had an opportunity to steal that ball. Krasniqi had an opportunity that went off her hands, went out of bounds. And that's when I said, if Golban gets the ball here, she's got to swing around, try and get to the hoop at least. If she can get fouled, go to the line shooting 2. She drove right inside, beautiful layup, right off the glass, right in. Ward still had time to come down and shoot. Disappointing. I think you got to give Claire Golban a lot of credit there for having the confidence. And she has confidence, there's no doubt. She plays with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger, and she drove right in. That was just a textbook play there for Claire Golban, and just a great way to finish off that game for her. Just a great finish last night.
She finishes the game's high score with 20 points, none bigger than numbers 19 and 20. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Warriors' win in the semifinals.
Here. Henry with it. Krasniqi.
Gotta shoot it.
Fierro's got to put it up at the buzzer. It's good! I'm laughing, but I just noticed Coach Colony, well beyond the bench, is 2-and. Big three-pointer there as Lamparski knocks down her first triple of the tournament.
Able to put it back up.
Gobin to answer with a triple.
Big time three-pointer.
Trying to get it inside somehow to Parisi. Now Caroline's got an open look. It's a 2-foot was on the line, but the zone off the mark. Gobin capitalized. Io Fierro. All the way to the rack. The scoop right up goes.
Still a lot of time.
And there was that final basket for Gobin. So now the Wilton Warriors, #2 in the conference, Kev. This dream season for this group of girls continues on. They will take on a very, very good Trumbull team looking to win their second consecutive FCIAC championship. Your early thoughts on this year's championship matchup?
Oh, this is gonna be a physical game tomorrow night. These are two teams who aren't afraid to get a little physical, especially down the post. You know, both teams very strong defensively. Obviously, Trumbull, we know how good they are defensively as well. Tomorrow night's going to be a good game. It just, like I mentioned before, it has to be, Wilton has to come out quick. They can't have that slow start they had last night in the semifinal game. If they can come out fast, get a couple quick buckets, and keep up with the Trumbull fast pace, and I think we're going to see a tight game come down to the finish. But Trumbull, again, there's a reason why they've only had one loss this season. The great job that Coach Tobish and the rest of the staff has done, the great underclassmen and upperclassmen who have stepped up this season. Trumbull, it's their game to lose, I feel. But again, Wilton's going to be a tough opponent for the Eagles tomorrow night.
I think the player you really got to watch is going to be Brady Ann Lynch. She, for Trumbull, presents a lot of problems to opponents because of the versatility you get out of players like Keckler, like McGuire, like Palmieri, Kelly O'Leary with her speed. I think Lynch and her size can cause a lot of problems and can give you a lot of opportunities for second chance points on the glass. But it'll be an interesting matchup seeing how well Caroline Sweeney did limiting Olivia Parisi.
Right, I wonder, and that's why I'm curious tomorrow night. Are they going to come out in a zone defense? Are they going to play man-to-man in your face? And that's where I wonder, you know, Caroline Sweeney against Brady Lynch. But it's the constant, you know, subbing that Coach Tobish does that kind of throws teams off, I think, a little bit. And that's what maybe threw off Stanford too a little bit, the rotation that Coach Tobish has. And you know, I think, you know, Schuler also had great minutes last night in the semifinal game. She's a tough player to guard up against. It's that pick and roll game though that Trumbull has played so well. So that's why you might see a zone defense from Wilton early on, just because they've been able to break down man-to-man defenses all season long.
It'll definitely be interesting. You know, I'm thinking about the Wilton side. Obviously, Breslin. I'm very interested to see how she responds. She got in foul trouble early, did not play a lot in the first half of this game. Golbin and Keckler is going to be a big matchup to watch. They met in the regular season. Trumbull took care of Wilton with relative ease, 58-42. But this time of year, the emotions that are going to be around that gym tomorrow, I don't see this game being outside of 6 or 8 points pending some free throws down the stretch.
I agree, and that's because both defenses are going to step up. That's when, you know, this is one of the toughest games of the year. When you're playing in a championship game like this in the conference championship, you have to expect both teams are going to give it their all, play tough defense throughout the entire game. It's going to be a fun atmosphere too. I think both teams travel well. It's going to be a fun crowd, good student session atmosphere as well. It's going to be a good night for FCIAC girls basketball. Two great teams, two well-deserving teams. The one versus the two. It's a great story. It's going to be a fun night at Ludlow tomorrow night.
It'll definitely be a lot of fun. 7 p.m. tip-off from the Falcons' Nest, Wilton and Trumbull for the FCIAC Championship. We're going to step aside when we get back. John Kovac will join Kevin and myself. We'll get you ready for the girls' ice hockey semifinals, which are taking place tonight at the Darien House Ice House. That's next on the HAN Network.
Set sail on a summertime adventure with Sail Away Sailing School. Located in Captain's Cove Seaport in Bridgeport, we're sailing June 18th through August 10th. 2 sessions offered daily, Monday through Friday for ages 9 to 15. Have fun, make friends, learn to sail. Visit teamsailaway.com.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866. If you've ever...
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports. Happy to welcome in John Kovac now with Kevin Coleman and myself as we get ready for tonight's FCX semifinals in girls ice hockey. And let's start with our first game at 6 p.m. It features the #1 Greenwich Cardinals and the #4 Ridgefield Tigers. Ridgefield is going to need a lot of puck luck and a perfect performance tonight to knock off the defending conference champions, in my opinion, gentlemen.
They come in off of what already basically was a playoff game, their 2-0 win Monday over Fairfield's Co-op to get in. But they've got a real uphill battle here, and looking at this, they're 0-6 against the other 3 teams in the FCAC Final Four.
And I think you look at Kendall Mountain, too. She has to play a great game, the sophomore goalie. And this Ridgefield team, and I think you look at every roster, the 4 teams here in the semifinals, there's going to be a lot of young talent here. I know there's some good seniors on all 4 teams. You're going to see a lot of young freshmen, sophomores who are already years well in their advance. They're playing like seniors and juniors, so it's gonna be a fun tournament to see all these young players, especially from the Ridgefield side, especially Kendall Mountain, Stefanelli, the defensive who's a freshman. There's a lot of young talent on all 4 teams, so it's going to be interesting to watch.
I agree that Ridgefield put together a very strong finish to the season, and maybe it's a hump day and I'm a little cranky, but it's Greenwich, New Canaan, Darien, everyone else. I give a lot, impressive. Ridgefield fought their way in. They need to bring forth one of the best efforts we'll have seen in a long time. It would be a, upset for the ages if they can pull it off tonight against Greenwich.
Oh, no question. There's no question. I mean, everybody's got that chance when you take the ice, but it would be a huge upset for this to be anyone other than Greenwich versus the winner of New Canaan Darien.
And Greenwich is also they are playing very, very well down the stretch in this season now. Finished the year so strong. There's so much experience there. Jesse Aslan has come into the place of, Jessica Ware in net and has done a tremendous job this season. The Cardinals are going to have a shot to defend their conference championship. It's just a matter of who they get. And it could be an interesting situation where New Canaan, Darien now, you're talking about New Canaan having to beat a Darien team 3 times in 1 year. They hadn't beaten them in 5 years before this season. Now they got to do it 3 times in 1 year. Should New Canaan win? Well, you're talking about a Greenwich team that's got to beat a team 3 times in 1 year in a championship game. Didn't go too well for Darien last year.
3 is the magic number when it comes to these playoff games because you can beat a team twice. That 3rd win just seems sometimes almost insurmountable, almost unobtainable.
For the Darien-New Canaan game, player that you have to keep an eye on, it seems really obvious. She actually does not have a point yet in the first 2 meetings between the teams, but Gianna Bruno for New Canaan, their captain and their leading scorer, she has got to be the best player on the ice tonight if the Rams are going to pull off the upset of Darien.
I wouldn't question that.
I shouldn't say upset. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say upset. If the Rams are going to defeat Darien for a 3rd time, the senior captain, Gianna Bruno, has to be their best player on the ice.
Yeah, I think she has to she has to set up. I mean, she has to set up her score. She's got to make the score sheet. I would not dispute that. We've seen her bring the puck up ice. We've seen her make some defensive plays, but we haven't seen her really take a game and make it her game in the games that we've seen this year.
And it's just one of those things that I understand it. Everyone thinks of hockey playoffs, and it's, oh, who's that third-line grinder, that role player that's going to chip in that lucky goal? No. Championships in high school hockey are won by the best players on the best teams giving the best performances. Gianna Bruno, if you want to leave your legacy as one of the better players to have come through this storied program, you need to have a big game tonight. And then again, if you're able to piece together wins here. And obviously, I like Jess Eccleston a lot, too, on the defense. She's going to be tasked with keeping Vandenbroek, Morrow, and the offense for Darien in check. I love watching Kiki Tropsa and Sally Cassidy play together. They are two of the most...
Such a great pairing.
They're just so active defensively. They are so gifted offensively as defensemen. Some of the best skaters in the state, smart with the puck. And they are a treat to watch. We saw this game, what was it, roughly a month ago now, between these two schools, and it was one of the best hockey games, boys or girls, we saw all year, in my opinion.
Tremendous game. The shutout by the freshman goalie, Blythe Novick, who, if she gets the nod tonight, is going to have to come up big again. Like you said, Bruno, not a stretch for Bruno to have a big game. Tied for the team lead in points, 11 goals, 13 assists, 21 points. But she does need to kind of, I think, the intangibles to grab the game and just determine the direction that it takes. And I think Darien needs a big game out of Nell Niffen because she's been up and down the ice. I want to see what she can do in terms of being a catalyst.
Niffen, keep an eye on Kit Eriks, too.
Yes.
I think she's been a real spark plug in this lineup. She can get to the dirty areas. I wouldn't be shocked. You see a puck sitting in front of the net, backdoor. Eriks is there, hammers it home. No more than 2 goals in this game as the difference, and that includes an empty netter in my eyes.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's going to be a 3-2 type of battle, 4-3 type of battle. I think you're definitely going to see some goals tonight.
I think if you get to 3, I think we're calling that. That's an offensive explosion tonight. This is going to be. This is old time hockey. This is who's going to break through, and it may not be a crooked number that wins this.
No. 1-0 would not surprise me at all. 1-0 would not surprise me at all.
Because 1-0
is enough to win a game.
How much key and how early you want to pull the goalie? I mean,
well, the goaltending for both these squads has been the strong point all year. The defense are very confident and steady on the back end, and it cancels out some of the offensive talent we've seen on both sides. The strengths for these offenses is actually in the younger, inexperienced girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the veteran presence at the point could prove to be the difference here. Honestly, it's either going to be a perfect shot or some kind of weird puck bounce.
I think it's a rebound.
That wins this game.
I think it's dirty. I think it's that rebound that comes off the leg pad or comes off the stick and just kind of dies right in front of the crease is what I think is going to it's going to be poked in. I don't know that it's going to be one of those impressive shots from the top of the circle.
No. Well, we'll see. Who are you leaning towards?
I'll let you go first.
Greenwich.
Smart answer. Smart answer.
I think I'm gonna stick with just like girls basketball. I'm going 1 versus the 2 in the FCIAC final.
All right, should be a lot of fun. First puck drop between Greenwich and Ridgefield scheduled for 6 o'clock. We'll be on the air from the Darien Ice House then. Second game, pending any kind of extra periods being required, will be 20 minutes after that. Make the ice, warm it up, hopefully no later than 8 o'clock. For John Kovac, Kevin Coleman. I'm Frank Granito. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the HAN Network.